Everybody, Scoutcrafter here again. Beautiful day today. Don't want to be downstairs too much if we don't have to be, but I have a real rusty wrench. You saw it at the show. We're going to tackle that one and see what we can do with it. So let's get downstairs and get working. Okay, this one here was another one from that dollar box, and you know, I have a lot of these, so I don't really buy much anymore, but I was looking at the jaws, a really nice shape, you know, not mangled or anything. I didn't see too much mashing back here. So I said, well, this wrench wasn't, you know, wasn't abused, but the problem is it was left outside or something like that, and the handle's not great. You know what? I said, I'm going to give it a shot. What? I have nothing to lose but $1. Going to throw this in a vinegar, a bucket of the whole thing. Just going to toss it in a bucket of vinegar. Going to leave it there for a couple days, and we'll be back. See what we can do with this one. The Impossible Wrench Restoration. Okay, it's been 3 days in the vinegar. Every day we took it out of the vinegar bath and scrubbed it with one of these stainless steel brushes just to get the, it'll come off like black, the rust. And here's where we are after 3 days, and I'll tell you, this wrench has to be one of the most pristine wrenches I've ever seen, except for obviously all the rust that was on there. And the maker it's a Coles wrench, and it is just a beautiful wrench. Now you can see here, this was like this from the beginning. I don't know if the handles were like that, you know, that they overshot the frame of the wrench, but it definitely is large, and you know, that's uncomfortable. We'll take that down, but we have to let that really dry out good. So right now we're going to take it over to the wire brush, get rid of the surface rust that's just starting to form up from the fact that it's out of the vinegar only 10 minutes, you know, and then we did the baking soda washing bath to stop the acid. But now we'll take it to wire brush, and we'll get some of the scale. Okay, here we are at our post wire brush evaluation, and you could see here the rust is all gone, everything. And look at this. Ready for this? Look how smooth that is, and we didn't even lubricate it yet. I mean, this is just coming out beautiful, isn't it? Now, we didn't do any polishing, we didn't do just the wire brushing. Look at the handle, no cracks. How can that be? How can? And I soaked this thing in vinegar, you know. Now I'm just gonna have to you know, we're going to take these cracks down. They're definitely oversized. I don't know what that's all about. It's not swollen. That's the way I got the wrench in the bucket. So we're going to keep working on this. Looks good, don't it? And we'll be back. Now I'm going to show you in real time. When you're doing wood on the belt sand or any kind of sandpaper, it gets clogged up with the wood from whatever you're sanding. This is a sanding belt cleaner. They cost about $5 at Harbor Freight or whatever. It's nothing more than like a big eraser. And you leave the plastic on it and just use it here to keep it from drying out. But these things are the best $5 you ever spend. I'm going to show you in real time how quick it is to clean this belt. That quick and easy. The belt is comes out like brand new. So pick yourself up one of these. You won't regret it. Okay, we just went over the handle real quick with sanding, and now we just put a coat of Old English lemon oil. I like lemon oil because it's a very thin oil and it really penetrates the wood. After this, when it dries by I guess about 6 hours or so, we'll put a coat of wax on there. And just because I tend to handle this a little bit, so let's check it out in a little bit. Now you know my favorite part. Remember how bad this wrench looked? Well, let's look at it now. Okay, we're calling this wrench finished, and boy, this came out nice, huh? Look at the handles, came out nice, no cracks or anything. But here's the amazing part. Look at this here. Now this wrench is made by Coe's Wrench Company in Springfield, Massachusetts, and the inventor was Loring Coes. He was born in 1812, and he had an interesting life. You could see here it says manufactured under the Loring Coes patents, and especially their steel. This was a high-grade steel that they used, and also the design of this wrench was very interesting because up to this point, most of these type wrenches needed to have two hands to adjust. Remember the ones with the thumb screw up here? This was one of the first ones that you could adjust from one hand, and that revolutionized the monkey wrench industry. And look how smooth this is, huh? Just beautiful. And so Loring Coes, what happened was he had a business with his brother that they worked at, and then he eventually bought, and it was manufactured machines for the wool industry. And then after a fire, he had to move on and start another company, and then he started with making wrenches after he developed this patent. These wrenches date back to about 1844, and you can see there was a bunch of different patents, and the funny thing is that most of them from here up was the same. It was always here that changed. Different ways of attaching the handle, different ways of making it so that, because whenever you add wood and steel, there's always a problem, you know, because they change, they move in different with the heat and the contraction and whatnot. So but it is a very interesting wrench. I can't believe how good this came out considering what it looked like before. Just a real nice wrench, so smooth to operate, huh? I mean, you could still use this wrench just like you would today. Let's try it out. Now, a couple people were interested in how our bolt tester was made. I made this, like I said, years ago for testing with the Boy Scouts. I would bring it down and let them try different wrenches out and stuff, but I'll be making another one and show exactly how it's made. But basically, it's just a bolt passing through a piece of wood, and it has a valve spring, a very strong spring here with a washer, and it keeps just enough tension to give it a good testing for different wrenches. So we'll put this up into the vise here, and then what I'll do is I'll test out this wrench, show you how nicely this works. Now again, one-handed, you can bring it up here, tight, snug it up, and it's just a real easy wrench to operate. And then of course, you know, once it's set up, you know, then you're good to go and getting the wrench on and off. So. But this one-handed operation, that was a game changer, and that made Mr. Coes a lot of money. He became a House of Representatives a member for Massachusetts, and later on in life. And interesting guy, nice wrench, came out real good. Hope you enjoyed the restoration. Thanks very much for tuning in, and I hope you have a nice day and a nice weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.